BC's digital literacy framework defines digital literacy as the interest, attitude, and ability of individuals to use technology and tools to access, manage, integrate, analyze and evaluate information, construct new knowledge, and collaborate with others. In exploring outside resources, we happened upon a TED Talk featuring Doug Belshaw. Belshaw presents literacy as a spectrum, from having some literacy to an indeterminate upper level of literacy. One is not either literate or not literate, rather one has a degree of literacy, or literacies, plural, that are dependent on and developed in context. As context and culture shifts, literacies constantly evolve. The development of literacies is not linear, rather it should be progressive, where learners and teachers have the big picture in mind throughout their educational experience. There is a distinction between consumption and production of technology. Consumption is passively observing content on the internet or other digital tool. Production refers to accessing, adapting, remixing, or repurposing content. It is in this space where we engage and interact with content, where it is both interesting and important that literacies are developed and progressed. To that end, while we are here defining digital literacy, there is a link to teaching and learning in that literacies span across disciplines. As technology is deployed in subject-specific content, literacies are nurtured in said subject and in the tools being used. The image of the word cloud is an example of our remixing key terms from the BC Digital Literacy Framework to learn and share a core definition of digital literacy. Workplace learning and human resource development lean to self-directed learning supported by digital tools and technology. In the workplace, we are largely addressing the learning capacities of adults. Noel's theory of adult learning, or andragogy, differentiates how adults learn from how children traditionally learn. Adults, or mature learners, are more independent, self-directed, and problem-centered in their learning. There is often a need to find information for a task at hand and a desire to identify one's own goals and assess one's outcomes. Social learning theory suggests that while adult learners may be independent and self-directed, there is value to social connections in and of learning. Rather than top-down management-directed learning, using digital tools for training and problem-solving contributes to a more highly skilled workforce. Technology such as social networking sites, streaming services, blogs, video sharing, and other online platforms enable learners to access information and connect with others as and when needed. However, a challenge presents when lack of access or digital literacies prevent people from using these tools and adapting to new tools as technology evolves. Support is required when challenges present in using new or unfamiliar technology. The use of these technologies and the ability to adapt and evolve are directly connected to digital literacy. Clausen presents the importance of digital literacy in the workplace, both the need for employees to have digital literacy in order to learn and excel on the job, and the need for employers to offer digital literacy training in the workplace so as to best utilize technology for workplace training programs.
In our discussion post a few weeks ago, we asked you to compare the recommendations for teaching digital literacy skills in BC Digital Framework to Belshaw's suggestions for developing digital literacies. Specifically, we asked, which strategy do you align with when it comes to teaching digital literacy skills? Would you rather teach digital literacy skills in a linear, sequential, age-appropriate manner, or a progressive, context-specific way? To summarize the activity on our discussion board, it's important to consider that our teaching contexts vary greatly. We have elementary school teachers all the way to workplace educators. Our approach to digital literacy skills seem to progress from linear, sequential presentations for the younger learners to a more context-specific, problem-based learning with adult learners or more experienced learners. It was generally agreed that basic digital literacy skills had to initially be learned sequentially to establish a baseline of skills and build confidence. When students had some skills and felt confident making mistakes, which is essential to learning, problem-based learning was effective to promote student participation, engagement, and interest. Experiential learning through context is a high-impact practice to motivate and engage, and combined with thoughtful reflection on the process of learning can be quite effective. It's always best to assess the level of the students before curating activities that are appropriate for the level of the learners. At the end of the day, the group agreed that teaching needs to provide opportunities for students to reach their full potential by avoiding a one-size-fits-all approach. One of the concerns that Marique brought up was the issue of online safety. The advantage of presenting content sequentially is that it can teach less experienced students skills without letting their digital exploration run out of control before they are ready to handle some of the more difficult situations that can occur with online explorations. Once there's an understanding of safety and privacy issues, learning can evolve to a more context-specific way. Because digital literacy is more than just having the technical skills to navigate the online world, we need to consider the social skills and cultural competencies to stay safe and respectful in the online space. One could argue that workplace development of digital literacies should begin with an understanding of digital citizenship. Only once an employee is able to navigate ethically and safely can they move on to job-specific technical development. As a reminder, digital citizenship can be defined as how you behave as a member of your online community. As mentioned previously, online collaborative work is essential in the development of digital literacies in the workplace. For a healthy workplace culture, efforts should be placed to develop ethical standards of conduct for online interactions before moving on to technical skills. The main points raised in our discussion post can be used to develop an effective onboarding process. Onboarding could include training on digital citizenship and basic skills required to chat, contribute, and ask questions with colleagues. If the company uses an internal platform, an orientation session could also be included. Once the basic skills are assessed and the social expectations clearly communicated, the employee has the tools to begin digital literacy development using a context, problem-based approach. They have access to information and can start their research as they solve the issues that come up during the day.
Digital literacy allows young students and adult learners to use technologies for research, information processing, creative expression, and social connection. Since we operate in a connected world, individuals who do not develop their digital skills are at a disadvantage when it comes to creating relationships, networked connections, and pursuing a rewarding career. Most careers require some digital skills. Educators have the ability to influence students and expose them to skills that will help them be independent and lifelong learners. A person who learns how to learn can then direct their efforts to fulfilling and prosperous work. As educators, we are responsible for integrating digital skills into our curriculum to prepare learners for the world and their career. Bloom's taxonomy is one model of classification of learning outcomes. It is the foundation of teaching philosophies that focus on developing skills rather than focus on content, which lends itself well to workplace learning. Many thanks to Christina for sharing Bloom's digital taxonomy in the discussion forum as a valuable link between education and technology in our digital world. The digital taxonomy reinforces our course readings that higher order learning is demonstrated through creation of content, becoming active producers rather than passive consumers. In the workplace, Bloom's model connects knowledge with application in task-specific skills training. For more information on Bloom's taxonomy, Bloom's digital taxonomy, and Bloom's taxonomy in the workplace, see the following resources.
So what are our recommendations for the development of digital literacy in workplace? Well, employees are adults, and adults learn best with the freedom to self-direct their learning to problem solve. Based on theories of adult learning, our recommendations for developing digital literacy skills in the workplace include a thoughtful onboarding session to communicate expectations around digital citizenship and the basic technical skills to use internal communication platforms. So we're starting at the lower end of Bloom's taxonomy. Self-directed learning to sustain motivation, engagement, and effective learning. Building towards context-specific development of digital literacy skills through problem-based learning. We're now moving towards the higher end of Bloom's taxonomy. Should encourage collaboration and social networking between colleagues, for example, the creation of a wiki, and foster a culture of collaboration and support by guiding employees to the resources that offer the most learning potential. Helping to identify experts in different areas as resource point persons is a great idea as well. For more on what we've talked about today, please visit the resources or the references at the end of this presentation. But we'd like to hear a little bit from you. We invite you to navigate to the discussion forum. We'll have a series of questions for you to answer. We look forward to discussing with you and hearing about your experiences.